All right, I pushed all the buttons I'm supposed to push. That means we're officially back on the second episode of Never Off the Boat. This is your boy Pinchon. Welcome back. How do you guys like the name though? Never Off the Boat. I came up with it right after the first recording was done, and I was just sitting there sipping my tea, and I was thinking. It's tough because I don't know what I want out of this podcast. I don't know what it's going to be about. And I hate calling it something as generic as the life of Pinchon. It's just not me. I won't go that route. So, what else? Something a little bit more racial, perhaps? Like Arctic Chinatown, the frozen dumpling. I don't know. No, that wasn't that good of an idea either. It was probably good for like a Chinese boy band, but Arctic Chinatown. But not for this one. This one is a little bit more personal. This podcast of mine, it's intimate. It's about my life. It's a therapy session for me. You know, looking back into what I have done, what bothers me, and my childhood trauma, the experience I have so far in this journey of mine. So I wanted a name that reflect that as well. A name reflect my reflection, so to speak. So yeah, I was thinking like maybe a spin-off from Fresh Off the Boat, as in an immigrant's experience. So why not? Never off the boat. I mean, I like boats. I never want to get off one. And also, there's a second layer of meaning to that. Like imagine this. When people invented the phrase "fresh off the boat," they're imagining all these immigrants coming all the way from the old continent, like perhaps Europe somewhere, let's say Germany, okay? And they made it through the Atlantic. And now they're in New York. They saw the Statue of Liberty. They're all happy and, tears in their eyes. You saw this kind of things in the movies. They have like probably 2 suitcases that are like broken into pieces, and with all their families all around them, dressed in raggedy clothes, and haven't been showering for like the past 2 weeks. Is it 2 weeks for them to get over the Atlantics? I don't know. Let's say 2 weeks, okay? They've been like sleeping rough for the past 2 weeks, and now they finally made it to the new continent, the land of the promise. And now they're here. They're happy. The moment they got off the boat, everything behind them, I don't know, it disappears back then. You don't have Skype. You don't have like Facebook. You don't have messengers, whatever. Like those people you care about, that you're not going to see them in how many years? I don't know. How tough is that? They left everything behind to start a new life. Their families, their friends, their puppies, perhaps. And now they're in New York. And nobody cares where they're from. They have to make it. So fresh off the boat, there's that. But now we're living a different time, man. Like, look at me. Like, I get to talk to my parents. Well, not so often, but still like weekly if I want to, if they want to. I still have one from Chen Chao from China. He recently got like a twin. Congratulations, Chen Chao. You made it. I'm happy for you. That's awesome. But yeah, I still get to talk to Chen Chao. I still get to talk to my parents. The friends I made in Japan. The friend I made in Italy. I still get to talk to them. They're still very much there. I still feel them, like all those memories I have. They're very much alive. I'm very much connected to my past. That's a good thing. And I never want to let that go. So in that sense, I really don't feel like I'm freshly off the boat. I'm still on board. I'm here, but I'm also on board. You know what I mean? So never off the boat. It's a good wish of mine as well. Not only in like my reality, but also something I want to live up to. To be floating, to be somehow mobile, but also like, going to places, progress, make connections and contribute to communities and whatever. Never off the boat. Never get off that boat, man. I don't know. I love boat. It's just something that draws me towards, like water, fluid stuff. I actually can't swim, but I love everything and everything about water, which is kind of odd. It's kind of like my little death wish. I bought like a kayak 2 months ago, and I have been going very, very heavy on kayaking. Going out maybe every week, and at least once or twice if I have enough time. Lakes, the Baltic Sea, whatever. A month ago or 3 weeks ago, I went out with this guy I met at the shop, the kayak shop, Daniel. We went camping on a unmanned desert. What am I talking about? On an unmanned island right off the shore of Tallinn, and it was beautiful. Like I'm telling you, it's the best. Like camping overnight there, kayaking everything out there to the island, and then camping overnight over there was insane. I'm telling you, it was so beautiful. There was no mosquito because mosquito couldn't fly that far offshore from the mainland, and also they couldn't afford a kayak. Well, I think so. We were just there by ourselves. Like there's no need to worry about getting stunned or getting attacked by bears. I slept like a baby in my little tent, and it was so nice. It never quite got dark either. It was just bright the entire night. We got to enjoy the sunlight like almost the entire time. And in the early morning, we got up, went for like a skinny dip in the Baltic Sea. Well, it's not the cleanest, but still like that feeling of freedom, that feeling of like, well, you are on like an island only to yourself. Do you know how much it might cost you if you're like in Bora Bora or somewhere to rent like a villa or an island to yourself? Well, yeah, I don't know. I don't even want to know, but here it's free. As long as you can afford like a $300 kayak that is on a discount, you can go by yourself. Isn't that insane? We're planning about like a trip to kayak all the way to Finland. I don't think this kayak is gonna do the trick. I have it on the balcony actually. I don't think you guys can see it, but well, yeah, from the first episode, if you saw the video, yeah, it's that yellow one. It's very amateur, entry level kayak, but I love it. Man, it's how good is that? If I fall off the boat, I probably die, but so far I'm good. I'm loving it. But yeah, Daniel. I met this guy from the shop because I was contemplating on getting a kayak for probably the past 1 or 2 years already. I started off watching this guy, Ben Brown. It's a pretty famous YouTuber who was kayaking before he started his whole YouTube career. And I saw some of his like earlier videos where he was kayaking, and he was doing like mostly, I think it was competitive kayaking, even for Olympics. But it was just really cool. Like that view you get, that view angle you get from sitting on a kayak is very different from the land. That's how I got it. That's how I got really hooked on it. But for some reason, my fear got the better of me, and I never really went out to get a kayak for myself. I was always just, maybe next week, maybe next month, and weeks turned into months into turn into year, and I never got a kayak. So 1 month ago, I finally, 1 or 2 months ago, I finally decided it's time. It wasn't even a decision. You know that moment where just like this thing has been on hold for such a long time. There's no way I'm gonna hold on any longer. Because I'm sure if I don't do it right now and here, I'm never going to do it. Not in this life. And the idea of not being able to kayak in my life really frightened me a lot more than all those previous worries. Like, what am I gonna do if the kayak fall over? What if I don't fit this into my car, into my 2008 Honda Jazz? What's gonna happen? It trumped all this insecurity, all these worries. The thought of not being able to kayak. I mean, so I just went out. I didn't even think. I took my cards and I got into my Honda Jazz and I drove out. And I found that little kayak shop that I have been eyeing all this time. Went inside, saw this little hipster, long haired little dude, Daniel, was just sitting there going about his job and just like, hey man, I'm here to get a kayak. I was like, oh, nobody do that anymore these days. People order shit online. Not this guy. No, not me. I'm here to get a kayak and I better get it now. So he actually went out and we went into the warehouse. This is a little facility in Vimsi, quite close to Pirita, where all the rich people from Tallinn lives, I think. Not all of them, but there's fair bit of rich people living out there. Very private, very beautiful, very, I don't know, single family occupied area. I love it. I go to the gym there, but yeah. And it was there talking to Daniel. I found out they're actually one of the biggest producer of kayak in Europe. They make a lot of kayaks. Like they sell them all over Europe, even to outside of Europe, to Japan, to Australia, whatever. And they had the headquarters, their production center in Vimsi. Right? I know. I hit the jackpot. And I asked him, like, what do you think is good for me? Like, I have zero experience. I can't swim. I don't know how to do one of those pedaling thing. Like, I literally did this. Like, those pedaling motion. I thought that was how you're supposed to pedal. I asked him, like, yeah. Tell me, Daniel. You're an expert. Tell me, what should I get? And he recommended, like, this really cheap one. But does the job really well. It cost me $300 and it's the best kayak I can ask for, because I think if I'm going to get something like a more professional looking, longer, made of better material, I wouldn't be able to like make the most out of it anyway. I mean, I'm one of those guys who like to have things good. I like high quality stuff, but I think it's as time goes on, I figure like if I'm never going to use something, what's the point of getting the best of the best? Like I better leave that good thing to somebody else who know how to use them. Same thing goes for cameras. Like I was so obsessed with camera gears, and I wasn't even that good of a photographer, to be honest. Like I got like 3 cameras and they're all expensive DSLR. I couldn't make good pictures. No, like it's a waste of money. It's a waste of resources, to be honest. And I sold all of them. Well, I still have one more left, but I sold the rest. And I feel happy about those people who bought them. I hope they get to take great pictures with those things, because I don't know. I don't know how to do it. It just makes me happy to see like things going to the hands where they belong, and they're going to be maximizing their value, and that's a great thing. But yeah, coming back to Daniel, I was just telling him, I say, hey, you know what? Like this morning I woke up contemplating about life, got super worried that I might never get to kayak in my life, might never get to find my soulmate, might never get to find my destiny, the things I want to do in my life. Therefore, I got worried. Therefore, well, what can I solve first? Soulmate, not so quick. Things I want to dedicate my entire life to, maybe not today, but there's one thing I can do. I can definitely kayak today. Yeah. And that cracked him up. He was like, yeah, we can definitely hook you up. We can definitely get you kayaking ready today. So we got the boat real quick. We got the paddle. It come with a boat. It's actually a combo. He got me a combo deal. An employee discount, I believe, or some sort of a discount. I think we just hit it off, and he was, really hooking me up big time. I got like a life jacket, one of the best, because once he heard me saying that I don't know how to swim, he's like, "Yeah, I got you. We need to get you ready for this." I got the life jacket, I got the pedal, I got the kayak, and then we figured out I figured out it's not going to fit into my Honda Jazz, and so I went out and bought like two ropes, and I roped it around on top of my car, and drove up like that. Also, me and Daniel, we became friends. And when he invited me out to his kayak trip, and I think we're gonna do it again, maybe next weekend, if the weather allows. Recently, it has been pretty hectic here in Tallinn. I don't know. One day is super sunny, super nice, like we have today, and 2 hours later, it's gotta be like rainy and stormy and all going crazy. But yeah, if weather allow, we gotta go out again and see if we can go some new islands and camp out there. It's really the best. If you have never been on the water, I would recommend you to go out and do it. Like just go on the water and then feel it. It's different. It's like a new way to engage with your environment. It's a new way to appreciate the nature. Like when you're just walking in the forest, it's great. It's nice. I love it too. Like I love going out to walk in the forest. It's great. But the only kind of engagement you have, or the primary kind of engagement you have with nature when you're walking in nature, is just visual. You get to see it. Yeah, sometimes you feel some breeze over your cheek, and it's great. You smell the scent, you hear something. But on the water, like it's just a little bit more close. It's a little bit closer. You know what I mean? Nature, it's caressing you. It's floating you up. It's giving you that rhythm. You feel it a little bit more, like it's the vitality, that kind of energy coming from the earth. I love it. I really do. And when you look back into where you came from, I mean the land, it looks so small. It just looks so different from the time when you're on it to the time when you're on a boat and you like turn around and you see it, like, wow, that's where I came from. Can you believe that? It's an awesome experience. But yeah, I get to kayak a lot these days. Enjoying the summer quite a bit. I do have a 9-to-5 job these days. It doesn't bother me. It just makes me like appreciate like my free time a little bit more, I think. Previously, no. Having a lot of time, it's a great thing. It's a fantastic opportunity to do things you want to do. But these days, because of this 9-to-5 gig, I value my freedom. Like for real, every single second I'm calculating. I'm thinking, like I'm gonna make this moment count, because it's gotta be soon over, and I have to go back to the office and do what I need to do. And regardless how good the weather is, I have to be in the office until 5. I guess that's the adult life. I don't know. Am I adulting? Hopefully yes. Jesus Christ. I don't know. I'm in a tremendous mood today. I think I'm gonna go out get a new pair of sneakers because the old one snapped. One thing I want to talk about before I go. Oh yeah. Why am I not having a guest over? Yeah, I was supposed to have a guest over, but we rescheduled. We gotta do it on Tuesday. But The episode will probably come out on the next Monday. So this one is gotta go on Monday, and the next one is gotta come on the next Monday. I'm trying to make this a weekly thing, having a schedule to it. But yeah, this week is just me hashing it out with you guys. Had a topic I really want to say actually. What was it? Oh yeah. Last week I went to Kalamaja. It's a popular hipster-ish. It was a very hipster place maybe years ago, but now it's tuning down a little bit. It's going back to normal these days. Kalamaja area. It used to be very, very Soviet, very post-Soviet little area with a lot of industrial kind of relic over there, collapsing buildings and factory buildings specifically. And then hipster went in and they started art project installations and all those creative endeavors. And the whole area revitalized. And things started to happen. New development started there as well. There's a lot of new residential buildings, cool bars, cool projects coming up, new restaurants. And the whole place got, I guess, for lack of a better words, let's call it gentrified. All right. And this is what happened when a place got gentrified. It always went over the top for a while. Like start from here, very low at the bottom, and then just shoot. All those energy all came together, all those like greediness as well of the capital. They all come together and they just shoot this whole place way over the top. That's not good either, That's not good either. I don't think a place should die out, but I also don't think it should just go for like those too over the top. It's overwhelming for people to live there. It almost felt like a theme park than like a place for people to actually enjoy. For the local residents, that's what's important, right? First of all, people who live there should have a place where they should feel comfortable to live, not just like a tourist attraction. At one time, I believe it was, and it was quite recent because it was eyewitnesses as a resident of Tallinn. From 2015 to 2020, somewhere in there, 2017, 2018 was going a little bit too much for me. It was overbearing, and I didn't like the area that much. However, this summer, I went out a few times. Tried a few local restaurants that they just opened, a few bakery. I really like this little blue. I really like this little blue food truck that just recently opened. It's a friend of mine, Paul, great guy, awesome guy, who opened his like South African pie place. Right now is sitting right outside of Baltiyam market. They sell different kind of South African pies. They have milk tart. I believe they're going to serve coffee and different kind of like South African drinks as well. So give it a try. It's delicious. I can't. It's just good. You have to go try it out. It reminds me of Chinese cooking for some reason, but Paul claimed is South African. Okay, agree to disagree, but still, it's delicious. Go give it a try, especially their meat. I think it's beef pie. If you're vegan, well, yeah, it's good luck. Anyway, I tried a lot of new places in Kalamaja, and to be honest, I started to like the place a lot more. It's a little bit more tuned down these days. It's not only hipsters, it's not only like those very avant-garde people hanging out, edgy people there anymore. It's a good place for a 28-year-old Chinese anthropologist as well now. Let's put it that way. That's how I feel. So I like the area now. I made peace with it. It's the trajectory of the place in my eyes is like going all the way up, and there's like a correction, and then it come right here. That's the energy level I want too for myself, not only for a place. Like right here, not too over the top. Right here, that's a good point. But yeah, I went there. Went to a few party actually in 2, and then there's a Sveta bar as well. Two very popular place for the locals and foreigners like. So I went there, had a few drinks with a couple of friends of mine, and I was really enjoying it. You know what? Like the crowd wasn't necessarily my normal crowd. How would I describe my normal crowd? My normal crowd is studious, anthropology related, very uni-centered, I would say. Because my social circle are mostly from university and my fitness, a local gym. That's my life. I go to the gym and I go to the university and I come back. I cook food. Yeah, that's like 3 pillars of my life: food, working out, and university. So I make most of my contacts and I get most of my friends from those places, I guess. The first 2 places, not from my apartment. But yeah. So the crowd that I get to meet in Sveta bar and Beadus wasn't my normal like social circle. Let's put it that way. There's a lot of it's a very diverse demographic in my opinion, and there I get to meet a lot of local youngsters who are very, alpha. Let's put it that way. It was I believe last Thursday, and we're just sitting down with 2 friends, Daniel, Sven. Shout out to you guys. We're just sitting there, minding our own business, having a non-alcoholic beverage. Me, they were having beers. I can't drink. I was driving, but plus I don't like drinking. So we're just sitting there hashing it out, trying to talk a little bit about recent development of COVID. No. No, nobody really give a shit about COVID-19 anymore. We're talking something about something probably about Japanese eye drop. I was really telling everybody about how amazing they were, demonstrating them as well. So I was just sitting there talking to my friends, and there's a bunch of guys coming over. One guy was like, "Hey, do you have a cigarette?" And I said, "Oh, I don't." And for some reason, they got mad at me for not having a cigarette that they want. So the guy come really close to my face. I was sitting there on this little round table, and the other 2 friends of mine, Sven and Daniel, they were on the opposite side. They didn't even see who was talking to me because it was kind of crowded at that point. So everybody was kind of just like trying to talk over each other's ear. But this guy, who was asking for a cigarette, got close to my face and whispered almost into my ear, saying, "Hey man, like, you better watch your mouth." And it was at that moment I realized there was a couple more guys behind him. At the very beginning, I thought they weren't really associated with each other, but at that point, it was quite close because everybody was rushing towards my way. If you know me, you know I'm not about confrontation, to be honest. I'm not scared necessarily because I don't get scared. I mean, I've been in quite a few life-threatening situations. I don't get routed up all that quickly. I'm very slow in reacting to things. So when somebody acts aggressive, I'm not brave. I'm just slow. I didn't realize what was going on. Maybe they had a pocket knife. Maybe they were even sticking it close to my neck. I just wouldn't know. I was still like very happy, in like a very cheerful mood because I was surrounded by friends and cheerful people. So I was like, still thinking about Japanese eye drops and how sensational it was. So I didn't notice all this danger that was already kind of boiling over. But this guy really got aggressive. In hindsight. So I just looked at him straight in the face. I didn't say anything. I was like, "Oh," I think I made some sort of a silly sound, like "oh," something like that, along the line with like that, and I probably even smiled. Yeah, he didn't punch me in the face. He just smiled back. And he looked back at his friend, and I don't know what kind of like a weird handshake they made with each other, or some sort of a gang sign they made to each other. But somehow they left us alone. And my friend were like, when they left, I could see my friend's face. And Daniel was like, really, really got like a little bit worried for me. But I don't know. I was like, most of the situations these days that I encounter, most of the conflicts, let's put it that way, I encounter these days, they got resolved like automatically. I think I don't have what it takes to elicit like a solid conflict anymore. Maybe it's my face structure. Somehow I feel it's really like that. Like I have this chubby cheek. It's like the best tool to resolve conflict. Like if you just have chubby cheek, people know you're not into that lifestyle. Like really, it's since I got to Estonia, my general impression about the place and how people treat me is like, I don't think I have encountered many racist acts. I don't think people are generally that way. And I don't pay attention to that. Even when sometimes, I would say like up to 5 times in the past 5 years, there are 5 occasions where people can get physical with me. Not a single time I was engaging in it in any way that would escalate the situation. It's not I didn't want it. Like I would say I'm quite aggressive guy sometimes. Like I have a lot of like bottled up like anxiety and all that. That can come out really weirdly sometimes, but never with other people. Like I said, I'm really slow. I just don't understand the situation. When people threaten me, I'm like, huh? That's like my reaction. And that kind of put people off their rhythm, like they were coming all like alpha and looking for fights and all that. And this cute cheeked Chinese guy just like, huh? It dissolved the conflict just like that. I guess I don't know if I should feel happy about this or not, but thanks to it, I haven't been able to fight anybody so far in Estonia for the past 5 years. But like I told my parents about this, they were really surprised. Let me tell you, like I was fighting literally everybody growing up, even the girls. Sometime in the kindergarten, I wasn't a gentleman back then. I'm glad things turned out for the better, but when I was in the kindergarten, oh my God, I would fight literally every single one, just punching the shit out of them. I wasn't a good fighter, but I just loved it. But these days, I don't know what happened. It's like my life is exactly like Kalamaja, like it started from like some very sketchy place and just went over the top. And at one point, it just went for normality. There's no more conflict. I wonder if I can even start a fight anymore. Like, I don't have what it takes anymore, maybe. Estonia. God damn. No fight. 0 fight in the past 5 years. Yeah, my legs is dying. I don't know. I've been sitting on the ground. Actually, I should be sitting on the sofa. It's right behind me. I don't know why I chose to sit on the floor. It's cold and my left leg is probably dead. Like I can't even feel it when I'm touching it. All right, I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna go get a pair of new sneakers. Recently I got into jumping ropes and I don't know. It's a best exercise. I figure it's really amazing. You guys should check it out if you haven't jumped a rope. But yeah, I will talk to you next week. We'll have a guest for sure. So I wouldn't talk to myself anymore. I'm kind of like wondering if this is too weird, talking podcast, talking to a microphone by yourself. Neighbor actually went out to their balcony to smoke while I was sitting here talking to the microphone, and I think that freaked them out a little bit. But you know what? We're good. I'll explain later when I go out. Yeah, fellas, I hope you guys have a great week ahead. Remember, remember this. Remember this. When you think life is not good, just remember this. There's a Chinese guy, a Chinese anthropologist who enjoys sushi, lives in Tallinn, Estonia. And it's a hard place to find really good sushi. Yeah, if you think about that, I think that should be good enough to distract you from all your problems. All right, guys. I'll see you next week. Never Off the Boat. Signing out. Bye-bye.